So UFC Fight Night Brendan Allen versus Reiner de Ridder is taking place this weekend. And overall, this is a pretty decent card. We got a couple of good names on the prelims. Seung Hyung Park, who main evented on an Apex card. We got Azamat Beakov. We got my boy Danny Barlow, Drew Dober, Preplec. There's some decent names on the prelims, and even the main card. You got Brendan Allen, you got de Ridder, you got Kevin Holland, Mike Malott, Cheeto Vera, Zahabi. There's a bunch of good fights on this card. So Tony Has Died, will be giving you my final predictions for UFC Vancouver. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit, and let's get straight into this. Starting with the first fight on the card, man. Listen, I've done a lot of tape study on this one, man. I've done a lot of research into this card. Spent nights and days just studying the crafty technique of Melissa Croden, studying the leg kicks of Tainara Lisboa, and after much, much deliberation and much film study, I am going to be picking Tainara Lisboa to win this fight by 29-20. You know the fucking drill, all right? 29-28 split decision. Why am I picking Lisboa? She's got experience in the UFC. She lost her last fight to Luana Santos. There's no shame in losing to Luana Santos. I think Melissa Croden, she literally lost 3 fights ago in LFA. I know it was to Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who's now in the UFC. But you look at her competition outside of that, beat someone that's 8-6, beat someone that's 8-4. At least Tainara Lisboa has experience under the UFC lights. I'm going to be picking Lisboa. I think she has better striking. All right, so let's go on to the next one. This is an actually interesting matchup. All right, so this fight was originally scheduled on another page. I'm pretty sure this was on the prelims of. What was this called? It doesn't matter, but this basically is a reschedule, right? Belgaroui, whatever. I'm just going to call him Usuri. Bacoa versus Usuri, because I cannot pronounce Belgario. I think that's how you say it. I'm just going to say Belgaroui. Dude, I'm not going to. I literally started the video over because I couldn't pronounce his name. I probably should have practiced pronouncing his name before I continued doing the fucking video. But I'm going to pick Azamat Beakov to get the submission in round 1. He walked through Zach Reese with ease, walked through Ryan Loader, had a brutal knockout in LFA to get signed to the UFC. He's funny on Twitter. That has nothing to do with the fight. But the reason I'm going to be picking Beakov is because, first and foremost, he has more experience. He has 23 fights versus UC Belgaroui, who is 8-3. Now, Belgaroui has a lot of experience. He's a former Glory kickboxer. But we're learning more and more each day that just because you're a former Glory kickboxer doesn't mean shit in this sport. Look at the Tafa brothers. Look at Cesar Almeida. He's good, but he's not top level. I think Azamat Beakov is a future ranked middleweight. He's a super well-rounded mixed martial artist. He has personality. I think he can win this fight. I think he's going to make it look easy because I think Belgaroui, he's got really good striking. And when this fight's on the feet, I think it's even. But I think, Beakov is a true mixed martial artist. I think he's going to work in take. I think he's just going to go. I honestly think he'll get the first takedown he shoots, and he'll get a dominant position. And I think Belgaroui is going to give up his back, and I think Beakov will probably sink in a submission. So I am going to be picking Beakov to win by first round submission, and I think he's going to make it look easy, and everyone's going to get on the hype train. So yeah, good sip of water. Good sip of water. The next fight. Now this is the people's main event. Don't get me wrong. This is the people's main event. This is what everyone's waiting for. We got Stephanie Luciano versus Ravina Oliveira. Despite having very badass names, if you told someone that these were WMMA fighters, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when they fought Rousey back in the day." Yeah, Ravina. She gave Rousey a good fight. Ravina Oliveira, right? Despite these people having badass names, I think this is as low level as WMMA as you can possibly get. Luciano, she is semi-decent, I guess. She lost to Sam Hughes, which is not terrible. Sam Hughes has been known to fraud check someone every once in a while. Went to a draw on the Contender Series, but got it back in blood against the same person in the UFC. However, her opponent, Ravina Oliveira, she lost in her debut against Tarinara Lisboa, and that fight was actually... Wait, why is she above her? Wait, hold on. The Lisboa girl actually beat the fucking Ravina girl. But this is at strawweight. This one's at fucking bantamweight. Okay, now I'm really confused. Well, I guess she's cutting 20 pounds? I'm about to look this up. Oh yeah, so I looked it up. This girl, Ravina Oliveira, this is giving me even more reason to pick her. She literally fought at 135 in her last fight, and now she's fighting at 115. Like, dude, what? I'm picking Stephanie Luciano to win this by decision. I think most of the community is probably picking her too. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Stephanie Luciano. I've spent too much time on this one. All right, don't click off the video. We got a good fight. We got Kyle Preplec versus Drew Dober. And listen, if Drew Dober was fighting anybody else, I would probably be picking against him right now. I don't think Drew Dober is... I think he's done, man. I think he is completely cooked. Now, I will say he did look good against Moicano. I'm pretty sure that fight was 29-28. And he knocked out Bobby Green. He knocked out Ricky Glenn. But his last two fights, the fight with Gene Silva, he got completely masterclass. And the fight with Manuel Torres, he got hit with one shot and then he gave up. Like, as much as we say Drew Dober's the chin, you know, his chin is kind of getting, you know, he's been knocked out a couple of times now. Especially that Matt Frevola knockout was nasty. But who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick Drew Dober to win this by knockout. Preplec, he's just not good. Like, he was losing to people on the regional scene. He only got re-signed because of the Benoit Saint-Denis fight. And I will say, he did land some good shots on Benoit Saint-Denis, but besides those couple of good shots that he landed, he got completely dominated, taken down. I think Dober can take this fight to any realm he wants to. The competition he's been losing to is stellar competition. Torres, Silva, Moicano. Those are all really good people. I think Drew Dober is on the tail end of his career, but it's not like he's fighting an up-and-comer. He's fighting another guy who's the same age as him, has less experience than him. I mean, Drew Dober, for God's sake, holds the record for the most finishes in lightweight. Or the most, it's either the most knockout, no, it's the most knockouts, because Oliveira holds the most finishes record. But he has the most knockouts at lightweight. I think Kyle Preplec, who I just don't think he's I think he's not UFC worthy, bro. I just don't think he's a UFC worthy fighter. Yeah, I was just like, if Drew Dober loses to Kyle Preplec, we will all cry. And I know Kyle Preplec has white skin, so it's a little sketch picking against him since he's fighting Drew Dober. But I think Drew Dober beats Kyle Preplec, man. And if he doesn't, we're living in a sad timeline. So I'm picking Drew Dober to knock out Preplec. Speaking of knockouts, we got Danny Barlow versus the Jourdain Santos. And I think people have been hating on Danny Barlow a little too much. That fight with Valentinnikov was, like, it is in hindsight very disgusting. But what he did to Josh Quinlan was nasty as fuck. His knockout on Contender Series was nasty as fuck. Sam Patterson has gone on a crazy win streak ever since he beat Danny Barlow. I don't think there's much shame in losing to Patterson, but he did get completely out masterclass. To Jourdain Santos, on the other hand, he lost to fucking Ozzy Diaz. A sip of water. He lost to fucking Ozzy Diaz by decision. I just don't think, like, I think Danny Barlow has really, like, he has a nickname. It's called Left Hand to God, okay? And that's because he gets all of his finishes with his left hand. And I think we're going to see another finish from Danny Barlow here. He has really good 1-2. He's faster. He's more athletic. He's moving up a weight class. He's got lighter man skill. I think Danny Barlow should have all of the tools to get this done against the Jourdain Santos, who just, he's not really good at, like, one thing, bro. Like, at least, say what you might think Danny Barlow's a complete fraud. At least he has the 1-2. At least he has something that he's really good at. At least he has grit in his fights, too, you know? The Jourdain Santos, I just haven't seen that from him. So I'm picking Danny Barlow to get this one done. It is weird he's moving up in weight after one loss. I don't even think he's ever fought at 185 before, so it's a little weird he's moving up in weight. But maybe the weight cut, was draining him a little bit, and that's why he's looked a little weak in his last 2 performances. I think Barlow should be able to get this one done. The next fight on the card, we got Hyung-Sung Park versus Bruno Silva. And I'm just going to say it how it is, bro. I think Bruno Silva is trash. I think he's not good. I just don't think he's very good. I don't think he's ever been, like what is his best win? Like, seriously, this guy used to be a ranked flyweight. I'm not trying to be, I have to be critical of the fighters we're talking about. Like, people are going to be like, dude, stop being a dick in the comment. I just don't think Bruno Silva is that good, man. And in his last 3 fights, he's looked worse than ever. And I know he fought Stellar Comp, Ian Manel Kopp, and Joshua Van, bro. And those are really good fighters. And this is a big step up for Hyung-Sung Park, who in his last fight fought Tatsuro Taira on short notice and got completely just... He was undefeated. He should not have taken... he was dumb for taking this fight against Tatsuro Taira. They should have called something he's a badass for taking it. But I think a loss to Tatsuro Taira this early in his career is going to light a fire under him. And I think that he's going to learn a lot from that mistakes that he made in the Taira fight. And I think he's going to do good against Bruno Silva, who in the past, he had power, he had speed, he had a chin. His last 3 fights, he doesn't look like he has any of that anymore, which was what made him even semi-decent in the first place. So I think Hyung-Sung Park should steamroll Bruno Silva. I'm picking knockout. Could be a submission as well. This guy's nasty on the ground. But I think that Bruno Silva will be the one trying to take it to the ground, since Park struggled against Taira on the ground. And so I think that the fight will be on the feet, and I think Park will have a huge advantage, and I think he's going to knock him out in the second round. So I'm picking Hyung-Sung Park to knock out Bruno Silva. The next fight on the card, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm picking Davy Grant, bro. I'm picking Davy Grant, who should be he should be ranked. Davy Grant should be a ranked fighter right now. And I know Jourdain basically beat Sean Woodson, but we saw Sean Woodson just lose to Ige, and Ige just lost to fucking Patricio Pitbull, man. Isn't that kind of sad that Ige lost to Pitbull, and then Woodson lost to Ige, and then Jourdain lost to Woodson? I just don't think the Woodson... I think Woodson, the fucking Area 51 experiment Slender Man, I don't think that's a good loss to have anymore, in hindsight. Obviously, Woodson's top 20 bantamweight or featherweight because Charles Jourdain's moving down. Obviously, that's okay, all right? He's moving down, and he looked good in his last fight against Victor Henry, but it's fucking Victor Henry, man. Victor Henry isn't good. Davy Grant just destroyed Damon Blackshear. He destroyed Ramon Tavares. He got robbed against Daniel Marcos. He fucking submitted a Sun Sal. He knocked out Smolka. Davy Grant has hit his prime at the ripe age of 39 years old, and I really hate to say this because Jourdain follows me on Instagram. I don't even think Davy Grant knows what Instagram is, so... That's okay. He's a fucking unk. What the fuck is Instagram, bruv? I think Jourdain is gonna get styled on in this fight by Davy Grant, who's got slick striking. He's crafty in the pocket. He walks forward. He grits down. I think Davy Grant, despite the 10-year age difference, he's only a slight underdog. I'm picking Davy Grant in this fight. Dangerous Davy Grant is going to get it done. Mark my words, all right? The next fight we need to talk about is Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. I don't know. Matt Frevola is a weird case because he lost to Zion by knockout and he lost to BSD by knockout. And they're both kicks to the head. Well, I guess technically the Zion one's a knee, but it was basically, it looked like a kick, okay? you look at their last couple of fights, I think that Kyle Nelson has just looked better. Like, I don't know if that's like a good analysis of it, but he's younger. Pretty sure I think this is a 155, right? Yeah. He's moving up in weight, I guess. I think I'm gonna pick Kyle Nelson to knock. I just the Matt Frevola, he's always been a bit chinny his career. Pretty sure he got slimed out by Terrence McKinney in 6 seconds. Yes, he did. Yeah, I understand that he lost to Steve Garcia, but Steve Garcia is one of the most powerful people in the UFC right now in terms, like, for their weight class. Like, Steve Garcia's got serious power in his hands. He almost matched Pavlovich's knockout. It's like, imagine, like, he almost had 6 knockouts. He had 5 knockouts in a row. One more, he would have tied Pavlovich and Chuck Liddell for the record. But, yeah, I don't think that losing to Steve Garcia is a bad thing. I think Kyle Nelson has looked better in his last couple fights. It's in Canada. I think he should be able to get this one done by knockout. I think Matt Frevola, I don't know, man. He hasn't been looking nice, and he did semi-decent against fucking Ziam, but Ziam, he's like I don't know, man. I just don't think, like, getting knocked out by Ziam is kind of crazy. So I'm picking Nelson. I'm about to take a sip of water. Rejuvenated. All right, the next fight on the card, like, why is this higher than the fucking Beakov fight, the Jourdain fight, the Hyung Sung Park fight, the Danny Barlow fight? Like, why is Cody Gibson versus, I'm not gonna even attempt to pronounce this shit, bro. Aoriqileng, the Mongolian murderer. He lost to Raul Rosas Jr. a year ago. Excuse me, hold up. He lost to Raul Rosas a year ago, okay? And he had that fight against Daniel Marcos where he was doing semi-decent before the unintentional groin strike. He hasn't really beaten anybody too impressive in the UFC, but neither has Cody Gibson. And I'm looking at Cody Gibson and I'm seeing that he lost to Brad Katona. Anyone that loses to Brad Katona, I'm just automatically fading you, bro. If you lose to Brad Katona, you're getting fucking faded no matter what. Like, that might have been the fight that was a robbery. I can't remember. There was a Brad Katona fight that was really close that was a robbery. That could be the one. But why are you not just knocking out Brad Katona? Like, just knock out Brad Katona. He's 38 years old. He's been submitted in his last fight. The Mongolian murderer, he's taken these fights to the ground a lot of the times. But he's also been knocked out. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm going to pick the Mongolian guy to knock out Cody Gibson. Because anybody, if you fucking lose, if you lose to Brad Katona, don't come to my hood. Alright? If you lose to Brad Katona, it's on site, bro. Alright? Don't fucking lose. If you lose to Brad Katona, just fucking don't do MMA ever again. Just quit, alright? The next fight on the card is Brad Katona versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Hold up. Let me collect my thoughts, bro. If you lose to Brad Katona, don't come to my hood. You lose to Brad. Okay, let's lock it, right? Don't lose to Brad Katona, bro. Don't lose to Brad Katona. All right. Don't lose to Brad Katona. Okay, I'm losing my fucking mind here, all right? Manon Fiorot versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. And listen, I've actually been a big fan of Jasmine Jasudavicius. I think that she is one of the nastiest submission artists in terms of female WMMA fighters at 125 pounds. I think she's the best submission artist, okay? But I just see the performance with Manon Fiorot and Shevchenko. the people that Manon Fiorot has fought and beaten, Rose Namajunas, former champion, Erin Blanchfield, best in the division, and she destroyed Blanchfield. Like, that Blanchfield fight wasn't even close. The Shevchenko fight was 3-2 Shevchenko. If that fight was in Paris, France, they would have given it to Fiorot, all right? It was a close, I'm pretty sure the fourth round was razor close if I'm remembering that fight correctly. Jasmine Jasudavicius, on the other hand, she is a good submission artist, but who is she really submitting is Jessica Andrade. Everyone submits Jessica Andrade. Mayra Bueno Silva, that's not bad, but, you know, then you go to Ariana Lipski. Fatima Klein, that's all right. And she's super, like, the reason I like Jasudavicius so much is because she's so active. But she's 37 years old. I think Manon Fiorot is going to be another title contender in the future. And I think Fiorot is probably a future champion once Shevchenko and Wei Li are gone. I don't know. She is a bit old as well, but I do favor Manon Fiorot on the feet in this fight. Like, she did a good job stuffing a lot of Shevchenko's takedowns. And when it was on the fight, it was razor close with Shevchenko. So I'm going to be picking Manon Fiorot to decision Jasmine Jasudavicius. And yeah, I just think that she's too crafty for her, bro. I think the striking of Fiorot is very nice. I think she's very technical. I think she'll stuff the takedowns. And I think she should get it done by submission. By decision. The next fight, we got Brad Catone. No, we got Chito Vera versus Amin Zahabi. And listen, man, this is one of those fights where if it goes the other way, I'm going to be punching myself because I've been a big Chito Vera fan for a while. But he just doesn't win MMA fights. Like, he doesn't win them until he does. Zahabi in his last fight, even if you think he lost to Aldo, look at the Aldo fight in the Aldo versus Chito. That shit wasn't, like, Aldo destroyed Chito. At least with Jose Aldo and Zahabi, even if you think Zahabi was, like, robbed Aldo. Aldo fucking put everything he could into those shots against. Like, Aldo gave his everything against Zahabi and still couldn't finish him. Zahabi, I like the momentum he's been carrying with him. Knocked out that Mongolian dude we were talking about earlier. Beat Pedro Munoz. Beat Javid Basharat, who was undefeated at the time. Jose Aldo Jr. Everyone fucking loves Jose Aldo Jr., okay? Chito Vera, on the other hand, he has been fighting the top of the division. Knocked out Dominic Cruz. Pedro Munoz fight, you know, it was stale, but he won. The Sandhagen fight now, I will say, even though I don't think there was split decision, I think Chito did win the last round. I think Sandhagen won the first 4 rounds. But it doesn't even matter. Like, he just got destroyed in that fight. And this is what happens to Chito, is he doesn't win MMA fights like the O'Malley fight. He was literally just a victim in there. And he relies on one moment. You know, like he hurt O'Malley at the end of that fight. He did good in round 2 against Figgy. But Figgy is not even himself. And Figgy still beat him. You know? And so I look at Chito Vera and I'm just like, I don't think you have more willpower than Aldo. I think you have more power than him for sure. You have the most. I'm pretty sure he has the most finishes in this division. But am I gonna pick Chito Vera just because he can like knock out a bunch of unks? And yeah, Zahabi's an unk. Like Zahabi has is 5 years older, but kind of similar to like Davey Grant. I think he's just kind of hitting his prime old. And look, I don't even think age is a real determining factor, bro. Like, if anything this year has showed us, Volk getting the belt back, Pereira beating Ankalaev, Crawford beating Canelo, fucking Usman beating Buckley. It has showed us that people can fucking be unks and win and still be super skilled. Like the 35-year-old curse, it's broken, bro. And these unks are getting it done. And Zahabi, 37-year-old prospect, I think that I think he's a better striker. I think he's a better grappler. Now there's always that 1% chance that Chito Vera Not 1%. There's like a 20%, 30% chance that Chito Vera will find the sniper shot and put Zahabi out. Because Zahabi's not going to finish Chito. I don't think he's going to finish Chito. Now, he did have Aldo really hurt at the end of the fight. But I don't... Like, if you can't finish Aldo, you're not finishing Chito. Okay? I think Zahabi should just... Like at the beginning of this week, I had a feeling Chito was going to win. And I just can't shake it. Like, you know, I'm just going off of vibes here, bro. I had this weird feeling that Chito was going to get it done. And now I'm going to pick him. Like, I can't do that, bro. I look at Chito. He's just been a fucking victim. He's been a fucking victim. In his last, like, 5 fights, he's just been a fucking victim. And he went on that good win streak. Dude, he was losing to fucking Frankie Edgar before he found the finish. Like, he's just not... like, I love you, Chito. And his backstory is crazy, and I love Chito Vera. But I'm not picking you to beat someone who I think has a real amount of talent and is here to do something in the division, which is Amin Zahabi, all right? Zahabo, you know, Zahabo would whoop Brad Katona any day of the week, all right? All right, let's talk about this next fight, bro. This shit, like, this is the fight that's going to make or break my life. I hate this shit. This fucking, you know, the pushing the rock up the hill meme? That's how I feel anytime I'm trying to predict Kevin Holland. Anytime I think, I'm like, oh yeah, Kevin Holland, he's starting to look good again, he loses. And then anytime that I'm like, dude, Kevin Holland is complete trash, I'm picking against him, he wins. And I honestly, like, I want to do the opposite here. Like, I think Mike Malott is going to win. But I'm so tempted to just pick Kevin Holland because I think Mike Malott's going to win. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, am I making any fucking sense? Like, this Kevin Holland fight just pissed me off picking him. How do you lose to Dolidze? I know it was a fucking injury, but you were getting whooped on the ground by Dolidze. Like, okay, I get it. And the whole narrative. Welterweight Kevin Holland's a different beast. He beat Luque. Like we just saw what happened to Luque. Like, Luque is not good anymore. That's not like a marquee win. Gunnar Nelson. Honestly, could have been a split. Like, Gunnar Nelson was winning that first round before he got dropped. Obviously, you give the first round to Holland. Those last 2 rounds were razor close with Gunnar Nelson. Could have gone either way. I don't think Gunnar Nelson's all that. And then I watched this fight live, the fight with D-Rod. It was 2 months ago. Dude, how the fuck do you lose to D-Rod that badly? He got dropped. And we never see Kevin Holland get dropped. And he did. And it's just like, anytime that I think Kevin Holland's going to lose, he wins and loses. Like, it just pisses me off. Oh, Mike Malott, on the other hand, I don't know if he's rankings level worthy. He's old, like, he's not old, but like, I just don't. He hasn't beaten anybody good. His one step up was Neil Magny, and he got fraud checked. But here's what I'm going to say about that Neil Magny fight. He was dominating Neil Magny the first 2 rounds, right? And Neil Magny has a very similar physique to Kevin Holland. They're tall, they're lanky. I think if Mike Malott, who has learned a lot since that loss to Neil Magny almost 2 years ago in Canada, I think that if Mike Malott, you know, that was like the 9/11 for Canada that night, bro. I think no Canadian fighters won, and then it was Strickland versus Dricus as the main event. Was it Strickland Dricus? Or was it... I'm pretty sure it was Strickland Dricus. I think it was 297 or 298. And it was Strickland Dricus. It doesn't matter. I'm getting off fucking topic here. I think Brad Katona, who's like, well, he's Canadian. Where's Brad Katona at on this card, huh? Dude, I think that he's learned from the Neil Magny loss. I think Kevin Holland and Neil Magny are on a similar level in terms of skill, frame, and ability. And I think I'm gonna pick Mike Malott, man. I just don't believe in Kevin Holland. He doesn't care. This is what pisses me off about Kevin Holland. Is he's like, oh yeah, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm a fucking savage, bro. He's like, yeah, I'm nonchalant. 45-70. I'm gonna 45-70. He's like, I'm so nonchalant. I don't care about my career. I'm just gonna go out there. I'm just trying to get money, man. And like, I can't pick you against someone who cares. Like, Mike Malott is a Canadian. He's going out there to fight in front of his friends, his family. Kevin Holland's going out there to collect a paycheck, man. Like, this is the type of shit that fucking kills me, bro. Because I think Kevin Holland does have the ability to knock out Mike Malott. But, like, does he? Does he have the dog in him? Like, Mike Malott starched Like, I picked Radke to beat Mike Malott because I watched the Trevin Giles fight with Mike Malott. And I'm like, how are you going to a decision with Trevin Giles, bro? I'm picking fucking Radke to upset you in Canada. Like, Radke was playing heel. And he starched Radke, who is very tough, who goes to war in all of his fights, who's only lost to Prates in the UFC besides Malott, I'm pretty sure. Man, like, am I going to switch to Holland? No, I'm not. We got to move on. I'm just going to pick fucking Mike Malott. If Kevin Holland wins, I'm just going to send him death threat. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. If Kevin Holland wins, I'll congratulate him for his win. Okay. The next fight on the card. The main event. Let me get hype. The main event. Reindeer Riddler versus Brendan D. Allen. Reiner de Ridder versus Brendan Allen. I am going to be picking Reiner de Ridder to win this fight. Now, I know this is like short notice in quotation marks, but it's not really short notice. I'm pretty sure Allen has had like 6 weeks to prepare for this. So I don't really think that short notice is like you can't really say this is short notice. You know what I mean? Like, this was originally supposed to be fluffy, but the training camp has been long enough for this not to be short notice. And so I look at both of these guys, and I look at who they fought and who has beaten them and all the jizz and jazz. I just look at that Marvin Vettori fight with Brendan Allen, and I just get disgusted. And I just get it's disgusting. It's disgusting. As Taporia says, it's disgusting. Like, that strike, like, he could have dominated Vettori on the ground. Like, this is the fight I'm not picking Brendan. He's on my no-pick list, bro. And why is he on my no-pick list? Because, dude, he's just not a smart human being. He's just not a bright... He doesn't have all the functions in his head, bro. Like, he's not all the way there. If do you understand what I'm saying? Like, he's not a smart fighter. Fluffy Hernandez fight, he's literally, like, trying to crawl on Fluffy's back. He's trying to take the submission artist Fluffy Hernandez down when he was beating him on the feet. And then with the Imavov fight, he was, like... took Imavov down early the first round. Destroyed him. Round 1, Brendan Allen. Banked that round. Then, round 2, he starts fucking up Imavov on the feet. And then starts shooting takedowns again when he's winning on the feet. Then, the Chris Curtis fight. I don't even think he won the Chris Curtis fight. And then, the Paul Craig, whatever. Paul Craig, fuck you. You beat Paul Craig. Congrats. You want a cookie, bro? Everyone's done that. And now, look at de Ridder. This is going to be his 5th fight in a calendar year. He's gone from unranked to being the number 1 contender, basically, if he beats Brendan Allen. He beat GM3. He beat Kevin Holland. He beat Bo Nickel. And in his last fight, he beat former champion Robert Whittaker. Very close fight. But I think, even if you think that Whittaker won, which I don't, I think de Ridder won. But even if you think that Whittaker won, you have to admit that performance was more impressive than barely to go. Like, why are you striking with Marvin Vettori? Why are you trying to fucking wrestle with Fluffy? Why? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, I just can't trust someone who doesn't have, like, and listen, Tuco Tacos, that's my boy. Tuco Tacos, probably watching this video right now. He trains with Brendan Allen, okay? And GM3, he follows me as well. He trains with, I'm pretty sure he trains with Brendan Allen as well, right? Yeah, he does. I just can't, like, the gym has a lot, like, De Ridder beat GM3, so he's already beaten this style of gym before. Brendan Allen, I just don't think Brendan Allen is that good, man. Like, I'm going to just keep it a buck. I think De Ridder is going to keep this fight on the feet. He has championship experience, so he has, I know Brendan Allen's gone 5 rounds before as well, but De Ridder, he used to be a fucking champion at one championship. Double champion, mind that. He's going to be huge. He's got striking. I think he lands those body shots super well. And he's going to land them on fucking D. Allen. Bro, I just think De Ridder's going to... Like, I think straight up De Ridder's going to knock out Brendan Allen. I think he's going to knee him in the face. I think Brendan Allen's going to do something stupid and De Ridder's just going to knee him in the face. Like, Allen's going to be getting destroyed on the feet. He's going to shoot like a panic takedown, and De Ridder's going to knee him in the face. Knock him out cold. Round 3. So here are my final predictions. I'm going De Ridder. I'm going Malott, Zahabi, Fiorot, Aoriqileng. Well, I'm not pronouncing your name, bro. Nelson, Grant, Park, Barlow, Dober, Luciano, Beakov, and Lisboa. But... excuse me. That will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.